And we're joined now live by Steve Battaglio, media reporter with the LA Times, who's been covering this story from the start and was in that courtroom yesterday when the settlement was announced. Always good to see you, sir. Thanks for giving us some time. It did seem, for the last few days, the tea leaves, the delay, and that a settlement was coming. So did it come as a surprise to you at all, or at the very least, was the final number surprising, considering it's roughly half of what Dominion, of the $1.6 billion that they were initially seeking?
There was a lot of tension because First Amendment lawyers who I talked to were astonished that it had gotten this far, that this wasn't even settled before discovery, and all of that very damaging information about Fox News and its operation came out. So they couldn't believe we had gotten this far. Yet I was hearing from inside of Fox that there was no settlement in sight. In fact, even when there was chatter on Sunday that they were working on a settlement, there still was no way to nail it down. So I'm not really sure how it came together, but it did in the courtroom, and we certainly, once there was a delay, we knew that something was up. And the number was not shocking to me. I know a lot of people think that they're disappointed that Dominion is not getting an apology, or that Fox News is not acknowledging their mistakes on the air. But it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. And
real quick, just so we're clear, the largest publicly disclosed monetary settlement ever in an American defamation action.
Yeah, and it's not the last case that Fox is dealing with right now. They even have other election technology cases up ahead. What other entanglements does Fox have to deal with, and is this impacting that at all?
Well, Smartmatic, which was another voting software company that was smeared by Fox in these false statements, they have a $2.7 billion lawsuit, and they get all the discovery that came out in this case. They're sitting back and watching this, and now they're ready to go, and I expect them to get a significant payday as well.
Let me go back to the point you made a second ago. Obviously, we know the amount now. Fox certainly has more than enough money to easily cover that check. They're not going to sweat that too much. I think they're worth $17 billion plus, so they're fine on that front. But I did think Dominion would want something on air. From all those anchors who said various things, who may have been called as witnesses as they had this thing actually gone to trial. They're not going to get any on-air redemption, just something. There was a statement kind of from Fox acknowledging that the court found some of the things untrue. But that's as far as it goes. There's no public mea culpa.
The number one thing that Dominion wanted was the money. They were damaged by this, and they probably stood to have even more significant damage going forward. So that was really key here, I think. An apology would have been nice. It would have made people like us happy. But Dominion made its choice, and Fox certainly has a reputation of not wanting to acknowledge its mistakes. They like to push forward. They don't really have a rearview mirror over there.
And this trial could have had major implications for journalism on a whole, and now it won't have that same sort of impact because of this settlement. But what does it do for Fox's reputation? Because for those that are following the trial, it may affect it, but for those that aren't, which are likely a lot of Fox viewers, because we're looking at Fox News website right now, one of the headlines is Elon Musk reveals to Tucker Carlson whether he's seen evidence of aliens. We don't see anything about the trial. So how will it affect the viewership?
Cable news has other problems besides lawsuits. The younger viewers don't watch cable news. Cord cutting chips away at the amount of subscriber revenue that cable networks get from the customers for their programming. So, there's a more difficult road ahead. In terms of the reputation, I mean, our media is very siloed right now. People are very comfortable hearing the views that they want to hear. And that is the price that we pay with media fragmentation. You can really hide out in your own little media world if you want. And, a lot of Fox viewers are doing that. I think it's a difficult day, though. There are people there who will believe in doing good journalism, and they can't be feeling great.
And back to Lindsay's point about Fox's reputation and its brand. I mean, obviously, they're extremely profitable, powerful, and popular. And they are in many ways a window into Republican politics, in some ways arguably a conduit of Republican politics. There was a moment, though, a few days ago where Tucker Carlson sat down with former President Trump, Trump's first interview since the indictment in Manhattan. And what, of course, didn't get talked about was that what came out publicly ahead of this trial were these texts where Tucker was saying, "I hate this guy." So here they sat down. There's the former president under indictment. There's the most popular host on Fox. And the elephant in the room, the subtext was, now we know possibly how you privately feel about this man, but it never got mentioned. In other words, the beat just goes on, right? Is Fox hurt? Are they damaged? Do they change their brand at all? Because that interview suggests that, no, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing because we're just fine and still making a ton of money.
I can't imagine that the Murdochs are happy with the way this played out, and they're not going to at least look at the management ranks there and make some changes. They won't want to look like they're reacting immediately to this, but 3 months from now, maybe before the next financials are announced, I think you'll see some changes in the executive ranks, certainly in the production ranks, because I think one thing that came out in the depositions and in the evidence is that nobody appears to be in charge, or at least willing to take responsibility for what goes on the air.
And Steve, real quick, we're out of time. You know as well as I do, we live in an era right now of disinformation and conspiracy theories. Does Fox writing a big check change anything about our political or media culture?
We've got to wait and see. I mean, we'll see how widespread this gets. I don't think this story was in the public consciousness until that number came out. It's a very big number, apology or not. It says you guys did something really wrong.
Steve Battaglio, media reporter for the LA Times. Thank you, sir, for giving us some time this morning. We certainly appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Jay?